Right, hello lads and lasses, welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today we have got a couple of things to cover. One transfer story, a bit of opinion based stuff, just relaxing on a Saturday, nothing too strenuous prior to our match against Dundee not tomorrow night, technically tomorrow night for me, Monday morning, really early in the morning. Before we go any further though, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to help support the channel grow. And I personally would be forever appreciative of you guys if you did help the channel grow. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, Boli Bolingoli, 26 years old, Belgian left back, infamously broke COVID protocols for a trip to Spain and is now days away from having another trip, but this time to the much colder, much wetter Russia. Well, more specifically, Ufa in Russia. I hope I've said that right. Ufa, not too sure. But according to reports from Football Insider, Bolingoli is in talks with the relegation battling FC Ufa for a loan move. And before you all jump down my throat saying players can't go out anymore because the transfer window is shut, the Russian transfer window remains open, and that doesn't close until the 22nd of February. So if this deal is being worked behind the scenes, it certainly still has a possibility of going ahead in the coming days, but time is running out. They have only got 2 or 3 days left to get this deal done, and it's limited time. Time is not on their side, but we all know how quickly transfers can happen in football. It can happen in a day, or it could happen over 2 weeks. Fun fact about Ufa though, Moritz Bauer, if any of you guys remember him, actually moved to FC Ufa after his time at Celtic. Small world, small club. FC Ufa also played Rangers in Europa League or Champions League qualifying 3 years ago or so. So that's another quick fact. But back to Bolingoli, and I'll be honest. It's clear he's behind Taylor, Scales and Juranovic in terms of the left back spot. Personally, at the start of the season, I was quietly hoping that, Bolingoli may have been able to turn his Celtic career around under Ange. I thought it may have actually been coming to fruition with the appearances he had against Motherwell and Livingston, if my memory serves me correctly. But it's clear since then that with Taylor's return from injury, Ange has certainly favoured him, to many of the fans' dismay, that is. But we'll touch on that later. And look, in my eyes, Boli, he's 26 years old. These are going to be the best years of his career in terms of a physical sense. And he's got the talent to go with that, but, talent can't shine unless it's on the pitch, He isn't getting on the pitch. So what do we do then? We have to loan him out. And look, I think for the club's sake, for our sake, for Ufa's sake, for Boli's sake, I think this is a deal that could favour, that certainly favours all parties involved. They need players to help fight their relegation battle. We need to get players off the payroll. Boli needs to get regular first team minutes. And who knows what happens after this loan deal happens. It doesn't specify whether it's a 6-month deal or a year loan. I'm not too sure. But look, at the end of the day, maybe Ufa will take him permanently and we'll be able to, recoup some money that we lost on him. Or he'll come back to Celtic, a completely reinvented player, and he could be our starting left back next year. Who knows? The world of football is a complete. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. But staying on the topics of left backs, Celtic's left back conundrum. It's a conundrum that I don't even think the best countdown players in the world could solve. And look, realistically, we have two options. Greg Taylor and Liam Scales. And there is the third option of Juranovic playing out of position, but he's just so damn good at right back. It'd be a shame to see him play on his weaker foot. But it doesn't take 2020 vision to realise that Ange is a big believer in Greg Taylor and a huge supporter of his. That's why he's being picked for all the crucial matches and keeping his spot week in, week out. And look, I have to be honest. We aren't going to lie on this channel, and I'm not going to lie ever. So, on this channel, but I am not a big fan of Greg Taylor. I can't lie. I don't really see much in him. I thought his performance against Rangers was absolutely impeccable. I thought he played out of his skin there. Credit where credit is due. But I think otherwise this season, he's never really been a standout. You know, he's had good games in the Premiership, but that's it. Good games. You know, he's a good Premiership left back. I can't, you know, like I said, credit where credit is due. But when it comes to the European stage, he just seems like a shell of himself. He seems like a schoolboy, you know. Do I think Liam Scales can be the answer? Do I think Liam Scales can be a top European level fullback? I don't know. You know, we haven't seen enough of him to make a definitive answer on that. And, you know, he seemed very good. He seems very capable going forward in when we play in the league. I haven't seen, you know, defensively, I wouldn't say he's as strong, but he's certainly got a much bigger physical presence. But we haven't seen enough of him to make a definitive yes or no. Would he be better than Taylor in European football? But like yesterday against Bodo, Greg Taylor was just a player who he just wasn't good at all. He was pretty much terrible. And I don't like singling players out, but because the whole team played pretty poorly. But Greg Taylor was just pretty terrible. I can't put it any more blunt than that. You know, he was giving away possession so cheaply. You know, his transition speed was awful. You know, he wasn't able to catch up on the counterattacks when we were getting counterattacked. He wasn't able to catch up to Ola Solbakken. You know, it was very concerning on that standpoint. And defensively, the second goal, it was all from Greg Taylor. It was shambolic defending. You know, he was sent all the way to the nearest Asda. It was a shambolic effort to win the ball. He could not keep up with the speed, the footwork, and the strength of Bodo's right winger Solbakken, and he was helpless. You know, literally helpless. There was nothing he could do about it. You know, he needed a second man there to help double team him. And look, this isn't me turning on Taylor saying he has to get out of the club. You know, saying he can never play for Celtic again, because no. I do think he can play for Celtic again. I think there is a very quality Premiership left back in there, but it's something that needs to be addressed. And obviously, you know, if we do go out of Europe, it's not the end of the world, because like I said earlier, I think Greg Taylor is good enough for the Premiership. I think we can get through the season with him there. But if we do somehow salvage this tie and go through to the round of 16, we're going to have to look at other options, because the teams we're going to verse in the next round, if we get there, it's a long shot we get there. But if we do, they're going to be so much, they're going to be an even further step up from Bodo. And, you know, this Ange Postecoglou team, we're unexperienced in Europe. I can't lie. You know, we haven't played a lot of European football recently, quality European football. And we're just going to, I think it's going to be a very tough test, especially, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's going to be a tough test for the left back for Greg Taylor. And look, you know, it's up to Ange. I think Ange will probably stick with Greg Taylor for the Dundee match for, you know, Bodo next week. But it raises the question, should we give Liam Scales the run-in that he probably deserves, that he hasn't had a bad game in a Celtic jersey yet. It's clear that has happened. Or do we move Juranovic to left back and bring in the brickie that is Tony Ralston? There's a lot of options, but look, like I said, come the end of the season, we need to fork out for a new left back. I think we certainly need someone who is a talent, who is special. We need a special left back. You look at Juranovic at right back, he is special. You look at Cameron Carter-Vickers, he is a special defender. But right now, Starfelt, and I'm bringing Starfelt into this just because why not? Starfelt and Greg Taylor, they aren't anything special. They get the job done, but they're nothing crazy. And if we do have the money, we're going to have to, I reckon we have to invest in that left back spot. It's clearly the weakest spot in the team. And if we do end up playing Champions League football next season, which is a very strong possibility considering how the league is going, you know, we need a better left back. We can't be having Greg Taylor at left back coming up against, you know, Real Madrid, you know, Manchester City, Liverpool. Imagine Mo Salah up against Greg Taylor. I can't imagine how that's going to end up. But, you know, speaking of I'm going to stop talking about Greg Taylor. I think I've said enough about that. Quickly on last night, on the Bodo match, you know, I know a lot of people are frustrated. I am still to myself. We were outclassed. It's as simple as that. Like the Leverkusen game, we created chances, but we couldn't find the right final ball. We couldn't finish our dinner, and we got caught out on the counter-attack so many times. But there is a positive in this all, and the positive is that this happened in Europe and not in the league. And while I know we should be aiming to win every single game that there is on offer, especially in Europe, the fact we slipped up in Europe is a lot better than slipping up in the league. You know, if Rangers versus Dortmund and Celtic versus Bodo were both league matches, we would be back to second on the table. It's as simple as that. But they're not, and that's the good thing. We're still first, you know. We've had our slip up. It's a real learning curve for Ange. It's a kick up the arse for the whole squad. There's been glimpses of these poor performances in the Aberdeen and Wraith Rovers games. I'm glad it happened. I'm not glad it happened, but I'm certainly much more content that it happened in Europe rather than against, you know, in the league. So it's something that we can learn from. It's something that we can move on from, but it's certainly a kick up the arse for our players who now know that they can't be taking any game lightly. They have to be giving 100% every week in, week out, because if that happens in the league, we're gonna come second. It's as simple as that. We can't afford slip-ups, any more slip-ups. And I'm more content, like I said, that it happened in Europe than in the league. Not sure about what you guys think about that, but I think our priority has to be the league now this season. Even if we do make it past this round in the round of 32 against Bodo, even if we do make it past that, the focus still has to be the league. You know, if we win the Europa Conference League, we get the Europa League. If we win the Scottish Premiership, we get the Champions League, guaranteed. It's a simple equation, and I think we all know what us fans would take in that situation. So, yeah, bottom line is that we should move on. I'm lost for words. Brain fog, but that is all from me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what is going on. But, yeah, no. Don't drop any more points. Keep on winning in the league. Simple as that. We go on automatic Champions League group stages. Easy as you like. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, which will be the Dundee preview, hail, hail.